Yeah, just for context, I also had a company which I eventually folded into VaynerMedia called Grape Story that I started with Jerome Jarre and around this space as well. And it's just crazy to watch how much money is being poured into influencer marketing. You know, even a fun story for me is Logan Paul, who obviously went on and built a huge career. The way Logan Paul started his career was my company Grape Story, actually VaynerMedia and Grape Story. We had Virgin Mobile as a client, and we ran a campaign called Discovering the Next Vine Star. Like that was the marketing campaign, and kids submitted, and I was in my office, there was 3 pictures, and I got to pick the finalist, and literally that's how I picked Logan Paul, and that's how his career started. He won a contest of a marketing campaign that we did, which is crazy to think about now. But this space, for anybody here, obviously a lot of you are familiar with it here, but for the ones that aren't, I don't think it's even remotely begun. And so, you know, obviously any questions we can answer, thrilled to do it.
How do you see influencer marketing on the B2B segment?
I think it's very lucrative. I think the biggest thing though is a lot of the personalities, if you look around, are focused more to B2C and can run young. But I mean, this is where I think influencer marketing has to be reframed and understood as what it is, which is reputation. So if you're a lawyer who happens to be really versed in blockchain, and you happen to be a good communicator on video, or you love to write, she or he going all in on LinkedIn videos or written words can literally can become the way we call it influencer, you know. So I think the B2B space is very lucrative. I think it plays out very heavily in LinkedIn if you want to go there. And I think the economics are even more interesting than on the consumer side because it can be very narrow. And in our world, for a lot of us, 500,000, 100,000, 400,000, 3 million, we're all competing for consumer. But if you're in agriculture technology and you're a thought leader because you're putting out good content, doesn't have to be blowing up stuff for high energy, just thoughtful and smart. If you have 7,000 people following you in a very small market, you could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking and branded content deals. So I think it's a very lucrative space.
How you see that like issue with like brand safety in influencer marketing? You had this quite...
Non-event. It's a non-event. The biggest companies in the world, you know this.
You had something with Logan Paul?
Well, Logan, you know, but you look at Logan Paul, right? Like, yeah. And we never repped him. Actually, we did rep him for 6 months. The whole thing with him in Japan and things of that nature, sure, but like the truth is, my big thing with brand safety and brands is people forget. People don't, like, unless you do something like murder, like it takes so much for it to actually be an issue to your business. So I think most brands realize that can happen with an athlete. I promise you this, athletes and movie stars get themselves into more trouble so far than any influencers. And so there's always a risk when you do some sort of endorsement deal, but as we know, a one-off with him or her is not necessarily you're the face. You're not the like face of the brand. I think when you sign an A-list celebrity or B-list athlete to be the face of the brand, you feel a lot more brand safety issues than a one-off picture of like, Happy Joe is delicious, you know, one time, and then later I get a DUI 4 years from now. It's not gonna be necessarily what the brands worry about.
How does it fly the other way around? I mean, if, and those who are B2C teen YouTubers, bear with me, but I mean, if you're a teen YouTuber saying this is the best mascara in the world and this is marketing, but if you're, let's say, in B2B and you go with a certain brand, bad example, Clarion Hotels, whenever I travel, like, or if it's, hey, I'm here at Clarion, that, because there are not that many brands who want to work with you, so brand safety from the influencer's point of view. Let's talk about that.
I mean, from my perspective, it's the balance of selling out. To me, your audience is your number one asset. So, anytime you do something, like even when I ask to buy a pair of sneakers or book, which by comparison to what I put out and what I'm asking for in return, I always know that I'm cashing in chips, that I've changed the relationship at that moment. And so when you're a personality and you're putting out a product, you're giving up some equity. You have to decide if the money you're getting is worth what but I think if you're authentic in that, it's one thing that if it's authentic to like, maybe I've never drank this before, but I'm okay endorsing it. That can be authentic. It's not like I have to drink this every day. I think where people get caught is when they're whoring out something every week. And eventually the audience tunes them out and then they've lost the asset that they have. So I'm sure everybody can speak to that here that's done it. Everybody, I promise you this, every influencer here thinks about the deal, right? It's not like, the answer is not blindly yes, ever. Because you know that you're giving something up for that money. I have been an influencer since 2006 because of YouTube and Twitter, and I've never done a single brand deal. I always built other businesses because I just knew that was not where I wanted to cash in because I knew the value of the end audience attention. On the flip side, I highly encourage it and think it's a very good idea, but it's something I'm sure everybody thinks about a lot. And you bring them deals, right? Yeah. So for him, just like for me, and right, for him and the team, they're like, take it, in the right way. They obviously have to do a good job. They believed in it. If they got to them saying, hey bro, take it, they believe in it. But it's still up to him, her, him, to really be thoughtful because it's the only asset they have. It's the same thing, where's the young man? It's the algorithm. It's the same thing as the algorithm. All these influencers actually have is the attention of the other person. It's the only asset they own.
But this is why it's really important for influencers also build up the whole business, that it's not just based on the ads or brand deals. You have to build up new business models around your
I agree.
brand.
The problem is please.
I want to jump in the next.
Oh, you want to ask what? So let me just end this thought. And this is why he's probably going to build a successful business. The problem is it's very common for somebody who's creative and can be a personality to not also be a phenomenal business person, right? But to your point, I think where you're gonna see enormous growth is in retail. I think the big next step for influencers is selling shit on Shopify and Amazon and other platforms around the world. So I think one of the biggest things him selling green hair dye as like a legitimate business is something I see coming every day. So I think selling.
And people are already doing that. You mentioned
tons.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul's making tens of millions of dollars on hoodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Tens.
Even build on business like those.
I believe in this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
What are you thinking about investing money on advertising in Instagram for your?
For influencers or for ads?
For influencers, because.
All in.
No.
Believe in
like
it.
If
a lot.
I'm an influencer.
Yes.
So should I put little bit money to promote? With
I see.
Yeah, bidding
bidding little amounts, because now everybody in Finland is growing organic. So should we starting putting money
to build your audience?
Yeah. To
yes.
build your audience.
Yes.
How much?
As much as you can afford. I believe in it a lot. I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars a month.
And that's because the growth.
Because it's underpriced. Yeah, it's going to get more expensive.
Yeah.
And that's in Instagram? Or
yes.
in YouTube as well?
Instagram more than YouTube. Yeah. YouTube's more mature and is properly priced. Instagram, I feel, is underpriced, both on the Instagram ad product.
It's underpriced.
It's YouTube. Very underpriced. Everything in Finland's underpriced. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of it's underpriced because the big companies in Finland don't believe the attention is there, which is crazy. And the money's not, because it's a smaller market, the money's not in there from the entrepreneurs to the same level that we see in other mature markets. So, for all of you, I would put as much as you can afford back in, because you're going to get paid double over time.
Yeah, that's what
Go ahead.
How about LinkedIn at the moment?
LinkedIn has a floor. LinkedIn's overpriced as an ad product, but valuable because of the nature of the audience. So if LinkedIn had an ad product similar to Instagram, Facebook, and Google where there was no floor, it started at 1 penny, it would be the place I'd spend the most money on, the most. Because the value of the audience is so business oriented, so money oriented, so transactional oriented. The problem is they create a floor of $2 CPM and a lot of that stuff doesn't work out. That's why Facebook pre-Cambridge Analytica, where you could market, and a lot of you who follow me heard me yell about this every day, employees of, they took that away, but that product was unbelievable. You could target people that worked at any company. You'd know who the fuck they were working. I mean, you could make the content for them.
Are you doing this when you are represent like VaynerMedia, like athletes?
On the Vayner Sports side?
Yeah.
We haven't yet because we're doing more organic yet.
Do you have social media stars? No.
We don't, no. We only represent.
You are only pushing yourself?
Yeah, well actually we have a division in VaynerMedia called Vayner Talent,
Yeah.
where we do have people, and we are running ads for their content.
Yeah.
This is something everybody should be doing. And especially if you're like young and making money, pouring it back into yourself is just a good idea.
Are you monetizing your Facebook videos?
Yeah, we just turned it on, but it's only because I'm learning it for everybody. Like we just turned it on, and the only reason I turned it on is I just want the data. You know, I'm not excited about having a mid-roll in my content on Facebook, but I need to use myself right now to get the knowledge for all the other stuff. We're about to launch a men's media company. I have PureWow that I bought last year, so we're about to launch a men's media brand, and I need the information. So that's the only reason I'm doing it.
So
I would have waited. I waited on YouTube for years.
Yeah. So you don't just turn it on. You don't feel that Facebook will overtake YouTube?
Oh, I am a big believer in Facebook. I don't think it's about overtaking it. I think it's about both. For me, the number one rule that everybody here should think about, whether you're building a personal brand or a business, is not to create friction for the audience. So if they want to watch my vlog on Facebook, I'm going to give it to them. If they want to watch it on YouTube, I'm going to give it to them. If they want to listen to it on a podcast, I'm going to give it to them. I think the biggest mistake people here make, and when I say here, I mean fucking everyone, is they make content for them and their behaviors, not for everybody else's. I think, for example, a lot of these video stars better start getting real serious about audio, because video is going to be on decline because video takes time.
That was one of my questions on B2B side, because a lot of the people, they just don't have, they have their work, they have kids, why not? So it's podcasts. What's your view on podcasts?
Big. I think audio is going to eat up a lot of video. It's already happening.
Yeah.
It's just, right?
Yeah.
Like even think about yourselves. I mean, like one of the things that in the limited time that my eyes were open on the way to the hotel this morning, like people are listening. If they're listening to music, sure, but they're listening so much more to podcasts than ever before. We all are. And for me, who's more information based, it works. When you're doing a highly visual skit, harder, but I will remind everybody, technology brings us back to the past. The world ran on listening to radio. Our great-great-grandparents, they had bigger imaginations. They didn't have the video. They listened to soap operas. They listened. And I do think that, as crazy as it may sound to watch their content in audio form, I don't think it's as far-fetched as people think. And it definitely, if you're informational, no doubt about it.
Have you done any influencer marketing on podcasts?
Have I done any
VaynerMedia.
What do you mean by, I want to make sure I understand.
These things like dollar shaped club.
Yes.
And they say that, okay, with this code you get 10%.
Yes.
Have you done it with VaynerMedia, any kind of influencers with your projects, Pepsi or something like that? Well, not Pepsi.
So I want to make sure I understand. We've done podcast advertising. We do influencer advertising.
Yeah.
But when you say influencer on podcast, are you saying hire an influencer to do the read as the ad? Like, how are you actually asking?
Reading the ads.
I think we haven't, but I think that's a viable option if the show's audience matches an influencer who has a lot of street cred. It'd be like an athlete reading an ad during a sports show, right? But we haven't done that.
How is it like monetization of podcasts? Like, what is the future? Like now it's like discount code and stuff. But what is the next?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways. There's two ways. You either do ads or you integrate natively into the show, right? So two guys talking about esports, drinking Happy Joes, and that's how it's integrated. Talking about it once in a while, referencing it, making a joke about it. You can integrate it, or it's just a live read in the beginning, in the middle, or the end. So radio advertising is very black and white. It's either ads or it's integrated natively into the show.
How effective you see that?
How what?
How effective as a
Effective?
marketing channel?
Massively. I think podcasts are grossly underpriced.
That's everything.
All right, we got to wrap up. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Now